Fantastic, we're in Reds. This is the best venue this year. We were over there last year, but now it's in here. This is where it's going to be happening all weekend. I'm absolutely delighted, kicking us off this evening, a chap that I've worked with many times, Albion Burns, Nicol, Span Morris, please put your hands together for Ken Nicol!
Thank you very much, thank you, Simon. Well, you know, it's nice to be booked back. I was here last year with Magna Carta. Was there a few of you were here last year, yeah? Yeah? Well, I've been agonising over what to start with tonight. And I still haven't decided. As I roll my sleeves up, I'll do something while I'm thinking about it. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, I better tell you something about this before I play it. It was inspired by a friend of mine in Preston. In fact, he's at the back there. He's at the back, and he's been sort of a bit of a miserable sod for quite a long time, and it took me a while to realise that he was only happy when he was miserable. But there was a time, just one brief period, when he became very optimistic and he saw quite a bright future and everything. So he got into therapy and he worked through it. Came out the other side and he was miserable again. So if you're wondering about how effective psychotherapy might be, there's testament that it actually does work. This is called I Feel Good and I Don't Like It. I sit alone in my room, ain't feeling sad, no sense of gloom, no sign of trouble, no sign of strife. I don't know what's happened to my life. I feel good and I can't fight it. I feel good and I don't like it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've got a downcast image to live up to. I pray for someone who could help me out. Give me something to complain about. I feel good and I can't fight it. I feel good, I don't like it. All my friends are existential, and God knows what they'll think. I'll be asked what I'm running from when I see my shame again. sing the blues when you're feeling this good. As you can see, I've brought an array of instruments with me. And it's nice to have them on stage, and I have them tuned differently. So I've just been back from Australia just for a few weeks, and well, I went on Emirates, and I wanted to take all my guitars with me, and I found Emirates, and this guy answered the phone, and he said hello. And I said, hello. I said, I'd like to take 3 guitars to Australia with me. And he said, why do you need 3? I thought it was kind of strange. I said, well, if you must know, I have them all tuned differently. And this Emirates guy said, well, what are the tunings? I said, well, it's funny that you should ask that, but I have one in standard tuning, one in open C tuning, and another one in a tuning called Dadgad, right? And he said, excuse me, I'll have to talk to my supervisor. And he came back and said, it's airline policy, sorry sir, we can't carry guitars in open C or Dadgad. So he said, you've just got to take the one guitar and tell them stupid stories in between the songs while you're tuning up and down. So anyway, I'm taking this is a leap of faith, because normally this is a new ragtime tune that I've got. And I normally wouldn't play this so early in the set. But you seem like quite a charitable crowd. So we'll give it a go. This is called The First Straw. Thank you very much. Oh, right. Well, years ago I used to have quite a few guitar lessons. You know, people would come round to the house 3 or 4 evenings a week and ask me to teach them things. And on one of these occasions, this guy came to the house and he said, "Ken, will you teach me the blues scale?" I said, "Well, I will try." And he sat down, he took his guitar out of his case, and I got my guitar, and I said, "Right, we will learn the blues scale in the key of A, the basic blues scale in the key of A, otherwise known as the minor pentatonic." And he just looked at me, you know, I was like, fine. So I said, this is the basic blues scale in the key of A. And he said, "Ken," he said, "will you do that again?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Now you've got to try it." And he did this. Exactly the same scale, just 2 frets higher. He recognized the difference immediately. He looked at his hand, then he looked over at my hand and he said, "Ken," without even thinking, he said, "Ken, I'm 2 frets from the blues." I thought, this guy's a genius. He's only just arrived. How can I get rid of him? I've just had to write the song, you know. Two frets from the blues. Anyway, what he did leave, I put pen to paper, and this is what I came up with. 2 frets from the blues. I should mention that the student was called Bob, and he was a builder. There was a boy who just had to play, a little bit like B.B., a lot like Stevie Ray. He'd pick up his guitar and he'd play a lick or two, but he was just 2 frets away from the blues. His mama, she told him when he was 5 years old, "Son, I wanted a black child with some rhythm in his soul." From that moment on, he tried to make her dreams come true, but he was just 2 frets away from the blues. But in the wee hours, he drive the neighbor mad, sing about the bad times he never even had. When he sang about his baby and how she loved him one fine day, his heart was saying something that his fingers couldn't play. He took his friend's advice after much complaint, found himself a teacher who had the patience of a saint. For $20 an hour, he showed him all the moves, but he was still 2 frets away from the didn't travel far. They just played gigs around the town in at least a dozen bars. That's 12 bars, by the way. The music they played sounded so unique. When he was playing F sharp, the band would play deep. His sense of time was far from metronomic, and he lived his life in a minor pentatonic. He woke up this morning feeling lonely and confused, 'cause he was just 2 frets away. He was 2 half steps away. He was just 2 frets away, yeah, from the I'm going to do a song that you'll all know. Well, anyone over the age of 65 will know it. Anyway, I brought my ukulele for this one. I had a job getting this into Australia. You know, when you fly into Australia, they give you these cards for the customs, and you can't take in any, you know, if you've got any like nuts or eggs or fish or anything like that, you know, oranges, apples, you have to mark it on this card. There's a whole list of things that you've got a little crossing here. And you've got to declare them. And I've been there quite a few times in the last few years. And this last time I noticed that they'd included banjo and ukulele at the bottom. And they've even got those ukulele sniffer dogs now. Anyway, yeah, you'll know this. This is called Bye Bye Blackbird. Tricky little number. It's got what's called an overture. You know, those old songs used to have like almost like a different song in front of them. And I discovered this overture, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to sing that, and then the main bit of the song on the uke, and then do a guitar version of it. So we'll see how it turns out we go. Sing the blues all day right outside my door. Blackbird, blackbird, why do you sit and say there's no sunshine in store? All through the winter you hung around. Now I begin to feel homeward bound. Blackbird, blackbird, gotta be on my way where there's sunshine galore. Pack up all your cares and woes, here I go singing low. Bye bye blackbird, where somebody waits for me, sugar sweet, so is she. Bye bye blackbird, no one here can love and understand me. Oh, what hard luck stories they'll hand me. Make my bed and light the light, I'll arrive late tonight. Blackbird, bye bye. Blackbird, bye bye. Blackbird, bye bye. just do a little more on the uke. You know, it's great for me to be sharing the bill with the one and only Ralph Nicol. I wouldn't be playing the ukulele if it wasn't for Ralph, so you've got him to blame for it. Because he actually bought me my first ukulele. Seriously. When I was with Steel Eye Spine, we were touring Australia in 2004, and we were sharing the bill. And Ralph had been, I had a laptop, and Ralph had been borrowing it to send emails back to the UK. And I believed him until I took it in for repair and the police came round. You know. But anyway, he phoned me. We were on the Gold Coast and he phoned me and he said, Ken, he said, I'm looking at these ukuleles, would you like one? And I said, yeah, why not? So that's very nice of you. So he gave me a ukulele, which was fine, yes, lovely that. The only thing is, every time I picked it up, I lost control of my hands and voice and everything. I could only play one thing on it. Every time I picked it up, it was like, let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. I had to take it to like a ukulele equivalent to a mobile phone shop and have it unlocked. So now I can play other things on it. But and I'm going to play a song that I've been offending people far and wide with, and I don't see any reason why I should stop tonight. It was after I got this idea after discussion with a friend of mine, and the discussion progressively got more philosophical and theological as well. The more we had to drink, and we were talking about all these things in the Bible that, you know, that were punishable by death, you know, in the Old Testament and everything. But they seem to be okay now. A lot of these things seem to be okay now. And the only conclusion I could come to was that God must have changed his mind. So I'm going to sing a song called God Has Changed His Mind. Many years ago, when the rules were set in stone, and leniency wasn't God's strong trait, if you didn't do the do's and don'ts he told you to, death or something even worse could be your fate. But the laws are more relaxed since the centuries have passed, and all in all God seems to be quite cool. But the more he changes tight, then the more I have to ask, was it him or was it us what wrote the rules? Don't trim your beard, don't eat fat, don't trade your clothes, it's not much worse than that. You have to pierce the ear, it says clearly, of any slave who doesn't want to be set free. But now things ain't so resolute. Screw the existential and the absolute. Yes, these days it's fine, God has changed his mind. If someone else's wife grabs you by the balls, she'll have to have her hand chopped off, that's all. And you can't eat owls, it just ain't right. And if you're going to kill the thief, it has to be at night. But now it's more laid back, not so concerned. I guess it's mellowed as the years have turned. Yes, these days it's fine, God has changed his mind. Oh, you can't sit down, or so it seems, where any menstruating girl has been. And never were tattoos, which might sound odd. Don't speak the name of any other god. But now he's not so tight or tense. In fact, he's being accused of sitting on the fence. Yes, these days it's fine, God has changed his mind. We'll says they both sat down and talked things through. The result is divine. They've come to understand each other's point of view, and now God and the devil seem to get on fine. Never eat from a tree until it's 4 years old. No sexy dresses and you can't wear gold. You can't watch porn with due respect. No pulling out when you're having sex. Butlins says issues are being addressed. He's liberal-minded and not so repressed. Yes, these days it's fine. God has changed his mind. There's much less damnation. These days it's fine. God has changed his mind. And much less vexation. These days it's fine. Cause God's changed his mind. Thank you very much. Well, you know, oh, hang on. Back in the 90s, that's the 1990s. Back in the 1990s, I suddenly realised that it seemed, well, everybody was playing Irish music, and I couldn't figure out whether they just started doing it, and you know, whether they've been doing it for a long time, and I only just realised it. But it just seemed like everybody was doing it all at once, you know. And me being someone that doesn't want to sort of follow the crowd, I decided that I'd play some as well. So yeah, I thought I'd do some Irish music, and I wanted it to be authentic. And I figured that the best way to guarantee the authenticity of it would be to write it myself. So that's what I did. I wrote it myself, and I wanted everything to sound Irish about it. So I called it. I had no idea what a jig was, and no idea what a reel was. But I decided to call it Ken's Jigs and Reels, because it sounded Irish. And I performed Ken's Jigs and Reels for years, up and down the entire length and breadth of Preston. And then one day somebody came up to me and said, "You know those jigs and reels?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, I don't think there's a jig in there." I wasn't too worried because, you know, 50% correct on the title point is not all that bad. But after all that time, it was only a couple of weeks later, someone else approached me after a gig, and he said, "You know those reels?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I don't think there's a reel in there." So tonight, I would like to perform for you a collection of authentic Irish tunes that I wrote, that I like to call Ken's Hornpipes. And if you know anything about Irish music, you can just keep it to yourself. Here we go. So, it's going to change the style completely. Years back in the 1960s, late 1960s, used to go and see these blues tours that came over from the States. Do you remember those? People like Sonny Terry, Brownie McGee, and Johnny Hooker, you know. And I remember seeing something called Little Walton. Yeah, he did a song called Key to the Highway. So one day I'm gonna work out my own version of that. So this is my version of Key to the Highway. Walking is Well, people were coming up to me a while ago saying, Ken, why don't you just do an album just purely of instrumental music? And I thought, no, I'm going to do what I want. Yeah. And then more people said, why don't you just do an album of instrumental music? And it started to dawn on me what they were trying to tell me. So I thought, they might have a point. So that's what I did. At the time I'd been listening to a lot of Edward Elgar, I'd been listening to the Enigma variations, and I thought it might be an idea to do something on a similar theme, where I just initialed every track on the album after somebody in my life. Maybe a relation, somebody maybe I've worked with, or people that I met at folk club gigs. And people, you know, I'd advise you to buy the album just to see if your initials are on there. I can more or less guarantee one of them will be. Maybe both, not necessarily in the right order, but you know. But this is something that I call IH. It's just initial IH. I just call it, well, usually I just call it my Scottish tune. Here we go. very much indeed. Thank you. A little 12-bar blues here, I think. This is a piece, you may recognise this piece. Little blues tune. You know, blues is something that I never really wanted to play. I was never really interested in playing it myself. I listened to it a bit, but I think, nah, I don't want to play blues. Then I moved to Preston. It just seems to fall off, you know, just every time I pick the guitar, you know. But is it like a lot of the guitar players, I like playing blues licks. Things like that. I'm a steamroller, baby. I'm about to roll all over you. Yeah, you know I'm a steamroller, baby. Just about to roll all over you. I'm gonna inject your soul with some sweet rock and roll. They shoot you full of rhythm and blues. Well, I'm a cement mixer, a churning her out, burning funk. Yeah, you know I'm a cement mixer for you, baby, a churning her, burning funk. I'm a demolition derby. I got the hunk of steam engine. Yes, I do. To blow your mind. If I can have your love for my own, there will be nothing you. Well, it's come to that time. It's time for my last number. I'm going to finish up with an instrumental piece. And I'd just like to mention someone that I've done a lot of work with over the years, a guy called Ashley Hutchins. You probably haven't heard of him. But yeah, we did a lot of work together. There's so many things on the folk scene that wouldn't exist if it hadn't been for Ashley. And when I go away, particularly when I go abroad, you know, I'll mention bands like Steel Ice Band, and people go, yeah. And Fairport Convention, we go, yeah. And then I mention the Albion Band, and there's silence. And I did a bit of research, and I figured out why that was the case. And I found out that, you know, back in the 60s, Ashley was a founder member of Fairport. They did some great stuff. Unheartbreaking was one of my all-time favourite albums. And Legion League, fantastic. And he left the band, and they became enormously successful around the world. And they formed Steel Ice Band, you know, with Marty Carthy and Frank Patrick. They did some great things. And Maddie came into the band. And then he left, and they started to get hits all over the world. So when I was in the Albion Band with Ashley, I mean, I spent a lot of time and effort trying to talk him into leaving. But he wouldn't have it, and I have to explain to people that's why they haven't heard of the Albion Band. Anyway, here's a piece of music that wouldn't exist without Ashley. Just before we went on a Christmas tour, he said, why don't we play something, or write an instrumental that you can perform solo in the set. And this is what I came up with. I'm going to leave you with this. This is called The Bridge.
What an amazing way to start the Butlins Festival 20